Thanks for coming back for episode 1. This is Two Kids and a Doctorate, a podcast in which you'll hear my story. My story will be centered. You'll hear things about my generation of blessings, my cultural and social expectations, my Latina identity, single parenting, doctorate earning, immigrant, first generation student. Welcome and thank you for listening to this episode. And you're wondering what I would pick as my first episode topic. And I thought, do I begin at the point in which I immigrated into the United States? Do I begin where my life began, which was not here? It was back home. And I started that episode and I started to record it. But it was a hard process, let me tell you. No one said to you that podcasting about your life was going to take you on a roller coaster of emotions and reflection. And that one is recorded. I had to step away from it for a minute. But I then decided that I was going to begin episode 1 with the topic of confidence. I learned much later on in life, the confidence isn't so much what you act like, because I think we have this notion that we have to act confident. I know myself, I acted confident probably for the majority of my life because that's what I thought I had to do. I thought I had to show up even when I didn't want to, that I needed to perform even when I didn't feel like I was good enough to perform. And so that's how I went out about my life. And now I'm realizing that you can't act confident. You have to feel it. You have to feel it inside of you. You have to feel it in all of your being that you are confident. You have to feel confidence in what you are. You have to feel confidence in what you do. You have to feel confident in everything about you. And so where does that confidence building begin? So for me, it began with self-love, right? Understanding that I have to be kind to myself, that I have to believe that the things that I produce, the things that I do, the things that I have accomplished, are actually great. Yeah, I am amazing. And so believing that at your core, it's what really makes your confidence shine in an authentic way. It is the ways in which your confidence then becomes magnetic. You can share it with others. Others see it and they want to imitate it, right? Make sure you let them know, though, they can't just imitate your confidence. They have to feel their own confidence. They have to build that from the ground up for themselves. That's not an easy task. I know for me, I'm working on that with my kids, right? So instead of telling them, oh my God, you're doing that so great, you're awesome, I say to them, actually, well, that would be denying their confidence, right? If I begin a sentence with actually. So what I do is I begin giving them accolades by saying, I like the ways in which you thought about that process before you began that project, or I see that you are putting the pieces together to that puzzle to make a bigger puzzle. So you have to get to the details of it. You have to give them an explanation of why they should be proud, right? And remind them that not only are you proud of them, but that they should be proud of themselves. So I turn it back on them and I say to them, wow, look at that red and yellow Lego. You chose to put those two together to make a shape. You should be proud of yourself. So to put it on them to care for themselves, to take pride in the things that they do and produce, not to expect others to provide that accolade for them, to provide that affirmation for them to truly begin to feel things for themselves so that they don't have to feel like someone else has to build them up. Okay? So if you have kids and maybe you came to my podcast because you have children, think about how you are encouraging them, encouraging their self-development, encouraging their self-esteem, building up their confidence. Okay? Let me give you an example of a highlight for me when I was like, damn, I don't think I'm as confident as I thought I was, is when I joined Clubhouse. So if any of you have not heard of Clubhouse, it is an audio social app It seems exclusive now because you have to get invited into it. And once you're in it, there are audio rooms. And so you choose to go into any rooms that you're interested in, hearing about the topic that the room is about. So you enter these rooms and you can, if you have a question, you can ask a question, but you have to go on stage and then you become a speaker. And so for me, it was terrifying. Anyone would think, well, no one's looking at me, so oh my God, this is so much easier. But for me, it was actually harder. Do you know why? And this is something I just learned a few weeks ago, and I'm just mind blown by my own self-awareness and reflecting on why I was feeling that way when I entered Clubhouse. And I invite you to do the same. Practice self-awareness. I think that that's how we begin. We have to begin with analyzing our thoughts and our actions, where they're coming from and why, and then sit with that. It's not easy. It's not an easy process to do. I tell you, because I have not been self-aware all my life. Basically, I've been like, Zoila has arrived and I'm going to say whatever's on my mind and this is how I am, without really taking a minute to reflect on why I was doing the things I was doing, right? But that's another episode. And so I joined Clubhouse. I'm in Clubhouse. I want to ask a question that no one has asked yet. And I get up on stage. And I was terrified. And, I begin with my introduction, etc. After that, I asked myself, why was that so difficult? No one was looking at me. These people don't know me. So what in the F just happened? So what happened was that I gave myself the excuse of, oh, I'm a visual person, so this is hard for me to be only audio. Wrong. What it was, or is that I like to have visual in person and in visual interactions, because I rely on those verbal and body cues from other people in order for me to feel that what I am saying makes sense, that is correct, that I should be so proud of myself because someone else is agreeing with me, that someone else is confirming my thoughts. And so for that, I should be so proud, right? And that's the opposite of what you should be doing. You should be telling yourself first, whatever I'm saying makes sense, because hello, I'm a whole doctor, okay? Also, I think that, we have to have these internal conversations with ourselves often to build that confidence up. And so, in retrospect, is what I was thinking was that is what goes on in my brain. I'm like, oh my God. Because, even when I communicate with other people, I'm always like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Or they will instantly know if I'm not paying attention because I go into autopilot with my or, I have been known to be a little bit crude. And so you can see it in my body language if I'm not paying attention, if I can care not even a little bit about what you're talking about. And so, yeah, so the same ways in which I do that to other people is the same way that I receive it. So if I can tell that someone is not paying attention, doesn't like it, that's how either I go up in pride for myself or go down in pride for myself. And so that confidence piece is not there. And so as the days went by with Clubhouse, I learned that I need to stand on my 2 feet and be confident on my own stuff without needing other people for that confirmation or approval. And so it has been a great learning experience. So what I'm going to say to you at the end of this episode is to believe in your confidence. Believe inside at the deepest place of your soul and your being that you are confident, that you are worth it, that you are smart, that you are bright, that you deserve to be where you are, that you've worked hard to be where you are now, and can no one take that away from you, okay? Think about creating shapes or things with Legos. Think about putting pieces together. You did that. You put that jet together, okay? You are phenomenal, and you have to begin to feel it. You have to believe it first. Okay, so do that inner work, believe it and feel it. Okay, and then do not be afraid to shine and to share that light with the world. Okay, I leave you on that note. Take care and come back for episode 2, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.